In the last lecture, we added two new props to our list group to make it more flexible. However, these two additional props make the interface of this component a little bit more complex. The fewer props that we have to pass to a component, the easier it is to use that component. As a metaphor, think of a remote control. If that remote control has 50 buttons, it becomes really hard to use. If it has fewer buttons, it's much easier to use, right? We have the same principle here. So how can we solve this problem? Well, in this particular case, we can assume that most of our objects have these two properties, underline ID and name. So we can set the default value for these props. And then if in the future we're working with a different kind of object that doesn't have these two properties, we can overwrite the default values. So back in our list group, here we're going to set default props for this component. So after we define it, we type list group dot default props. We add a new property called default props and set it to an object. Make sure to spell it properly and use the right notation. So lowercase d, uppercase P, that's our camel notation. If you don't spell it properly, what I'm going to show you is not going to work. So in this object, we add our props and their default value. So here I'm going to set text property to name and value property to underline ID. With this, we no longer have to pass these two props when using our list group. So this simplifies the interface of our list group. Let's delete these two lines, test the application one more time. We still have the list of genres, beautiful. Next, we'll handle item selection.